The Fantasy Flow Podcast. Go Hawks! Hey, welcome back to the Fantasy Flow Podcast. It's Austin, it's Andy, back at you for the last time for the 2025 season. It's the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl, baby. And our Seattle Seahawks are in the dance. Not just the dance, it's the Super Bowl. Andy, I'm so pumped, and I am so surprised. We entered the postseason as the best odds to win the Super Bowl, and we're here. But 3 weeks before that, we were third in the NFC West standings. So it's just been a crazy, crazy few weeks, and I just kind of can't believe it.
That week 16 game against the Rams, man, that overtime win.
The
ever
3
since
point
then,
conversions, yeah.
Yeah. Ever since then, it's just been this wild trajectory and an insane, fun and exciting time to watch the Seahawks.
Yeah. I want to make one thing clear off the jump. We are here to discuss nothing but Super Bowl 60. Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft snubbed by the Hall of Fame. Don't care. The Pro Bowl. We don't care. Dozens of head coaches, coordinators, GMs, hired and fired. We have months of off season to talk about all of that. This is about Super Bowl 60. This is all about our Seahawks versus the New England Patriots, round 2. So with that, I just want to kind of build on what we just talked about and ask you, Andy. I got 2 questions for you. The first one, how does it feel having the Seahawks back in the Super Bowl so much sooner than we or anyone else expected?
Oh, man. It feels great. What are you talking about? I mean, any fan base that sees their team make it to the final game of the season, they're on cloud 9, and we're just got one more game to show the entire country, show the league that Seattle means business. We are back, and we are not to be messed with. I mean, all those years ago when they were in the Super Bowl and the Legion of Boom, nobody paid attention to Seattle back then, and we were the greatest defense of all time, questionably. So I am just ready for us to be on the map and us to not be messed with moving forward.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. I mean, being tucked away in the very corner of the country, a big market, but not the biggest market. We just don't get talked about as much. We get easily underrated. And I think being not only tucked away so that we're the only thing way out here, but being on the West Coast too. The East Coast doesn't stay up to watch the games, and why would they? Because we're all the way over there. So yeah, that just comes with a huge chip on our shoulders, and it explains why the national media was a little bit behind. But Seahawks fans, we did not see this coming either. And if there was a crazy delusional, blind faith Seahawks fan that just thinks that we're going to the Super Bowl every year, they were right this year because we outperformed expectations in such a crazy way. And we're so far ahead in terms of the rebuild. We got Sam Darnold. This is his first year with the team. This is our head coach's second year with the team. And it kind of makes sense, though. Andy, you and I were just looking back at the first round picks of the last few years. And going back to that Russell Wilson trade, there were a couple years where we had 2 first-round picks. Nick Emanwari at the very beginning of the second round, he's basically a first-round pick. And all these guys are under rookie contracts and still are, even for next year. This core, the core of this Super Bowl team is not going anywhere. And it's so exciting. They're so far ahead of schedule. And that takes me to my second question. How does it feel knowing that the Seahawks opponent on Sunday is the New England Patriots of all teams, the team responsible for the worst sports moment of our lives?
Yes, that part stings. But I think if this team, this nucleus, this head coach, quarterback, just core as a team was on any other organization, I'd have a hard time rooting against them, because Drake May, he's fun to watch. It's a good storyline. Mike Vrabel, great storyline. Fantasy wise, it's cool to see Stephon Diggs, Matt Collins come from Buffalo, and now they're here in the Super Bowl with the Patriots. The defense is young. They acquired it through free agency. They have so many great storylines, this team, but the fact that they are on the Patriots, it just like nullifies everything and everything I just said, and makes me want to hate them just as much as the next guy.
So obviously the Patriots have beaten the Seahawks in the Super Bowl before. The Patriots are also responsible for the worst moment of Sam Darnold's career, the seeing ghosts game that seemed to follow him around wherever he went. It was part of his narrative. That was against the Patriots too. So there's a lot of demons to be exercised potentially in the Super Bowl. Or, it could just totally, I couldn't even imagine like the headlines and the narratives if the Patriots beat the Seahawks again, if they make Sam Darnold look silly again. There's just, the stakes are high, man. And I don't care if the Seahawks are 4-point favorites. Like, any team can win any game. It just takes one. Like, even the people that I've found, yes, even the people that I've found who are picking the Patriots to win this game, they'll admit, like, the Seahawks are the better team. It's just a matter of, like, what happens on Sunday. Talk about coaching, talk about matchup specifics, the confidence they have in the quarterback under the brightest lights in the biggest moment. Like, any team can win this game. And, the Patriots absolutely have a shot. And the stakes are incredibly high. Last note on the Seahawks, what we were talking about, how they overperformed expectations. Like, I just want to like make it clear that like in Seattle, almost until Halloween, like Seattle sports fans were more interested in the Seattle Mariners playoff run than the Seahawks. Like, we have not fully appreciated this team because of how they took us by surprise. And this was a 14-3 season. And like, we were never quite there until we saw them beat the Rams and the 49ers in the last 3 weeks of the regular season. And then I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, let's go. So, Andy, what surprised you the most about this Seahawks team this year?
Yeah, the offense, honestly. I predicted that the defense was going to be able to carry us. We knew it was good. We knew our head coach had the right mindset, the right scheme, coaching ability. And I was so bummed out that we lost Ryan Grubb, our previous offensive coordinator, because he was such a pass-heavy guy. He made Geno Smith look really good. We got to 10 wins. Like, why are we getting rid of this guy? I'm not too sure about Clint Kubiak. It's gonna new quarterback, new wide receivers. It's gonna take a little while, right? And just it did take a little while, but it took just a couple weeks. And man, this offense just exploded out of nowhere. And then getting Shaheed at the trade deadline, I mean, that has to be the most underappreciated trade of the season for sure. Underappreciated move, and wow, it has really been so helpful for this team, because we lost a really key piece, Torrey Horton, before the trade deadline, and he was doing a lot of the things that Shaheed was doing. But again, Seahawks rookie doing a couple splash plays, it wasn't really talked about. And then they see this trade happen, and they see the output that Shaheed has created for this team in light of Torrey Horton getting hurt. And man, it has just been so fruitful for our team.
100%. Yeah. Torrey Horton, he scored like 5 touchdowns in 6 games or something, like to start his career. It was crazy. And then he goes down. But yeah, great trade at the deadline. At the time I was like, whoa, a 4th and a 5th. But, I didn't know that we were competing for a Super Bowl. I was one of those fans that thought we were still like a year away. And I was like, what about those 4th and 5th round picks, though? This is the last year of Shaheed's contract. Like, this is a rental. What are we doing? I'm stupid. Right. And I was also stupid to doubt Clint Kubiak, because that's who I was going to say. Even Sam Darnold, yes, he surprised me. But also, I thought he was like a competent QB who was turnover prone. And that's exactly what we saw over the full course of the season. Clint Kubiak surprised me more than anyone. And yeah, good luck in Las Vegas, Clint Kubiak. It was just a magical 1 year, and yeah, we'll have to backfill him. But yeah, that's a different discussion for another time. He's just done a great job.
Sure.
So few complaints. I mean, we love nothing more than to like Monday morning, armchair quarterback, like second guess everything. Like every fan loves to do that, but there's just been so few things to complain about. His offense is so balanced. From fantasy, yeah, we can complain that Kenneth Walker isn't getting enough touches. He's getting vultured by Charbonnet, but like it's no coincidence that Kenneth Walker's been healthy all year for the first time ever. And now he's totally fresh for the Super Bowl. So like even that, I'm like, all right, fine, Clint, you were right. Like, geez.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's just gone so well, and yeah, I'm just so thrilled, and yeah, I think Sorry, go for it. Go for it.
So one thing that we have to consider that the Seahawks, the path that they have taken to get to the Super Bowl is they beat the projected MVP winner with Matthew Stafford to get to the Super Bowl, one, but also to claim the 1 seed back in that overtime win. Now they have to go against the other projected winner of MVP with Drake May, and those two have been battling back and forth all year, more or less, with MVP votes, who's had the better season.
Totally.
And
on this show, they've battled back and forth for the
yes,
MVP.
Exactly. And now, what a gauntlet this is of we have to play Matthew Stafford, projected MVP winner, and then now Drake May, second place, or maybe even the MVP winner. This is just such a great test, and nobody's going to speak about that. Nobody's going to appreciate that. They're going to highlight Sam Darnold, the coaching staff. They're not going to highlight the path that both these teams have had to go through to get to this point. And the Patriots path, I mean, I've spoken to you about this at length. Like, they go against a broken hand, Justin Herbert. They go against CJ Stroud that decides to just not play football, not know how to play quarterback anymore. And then they go against a backup quarterback, where we have to go against both of our division rivals that have both been double-digit wins and been competing for the number 1 spot in our conference the entire year. Yeah. Those are our two opponents, and man, just like it can't be stated enough, in my opinion, the two different paths that both teams have had so
Kyle
far.
Shanahan and Sean McVay, like,
oh boy,
just elite game planners in the biggest moment. Like, it's just so crazy. This Super Bowl is full of storylines, and yeah, the Patriots, their path has been like historically easy, but that doesn't mean they're a bad team. Like, it means they're unproven, but it doesn't mean they're bad. Like, they absolutely, like, they earned their way to the Super Bowl. It was not as tough of a path as the Seahawks, but like, they're just unproven, which adds a little bit of mystery, which adds a little bit of nervousness to me, honestly. I know some other people are a little bit more confident in the Seahawks, and we'll get to game picks later on. But yeah, man, this Super Bowl, like I said, is just so rich with storylines. Like, the Seahawks-Broncos Super Bowl is thought of as like one of the worst Super Bowls in history, and the Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl is thought of one of the best in history. Obviously, for Seahawks fans, that sentiment is totally flipped, right? Like, we had a blast watching the Broncos matchup, not really the Patriots matchup. We were nervous for almost 4 quarters, and then like suicidal, for the last 30 seconds or so. But on the Patriots side, the storylines are so rich. Like, can Stephon Diggs overcome the mental distractions of his chef's assault allegations? Like, can Christian Barmore push through the off-field noise of his pending domestic assault charges? Like, can the organization build a new dynasty that isn't fraught with cheating scandals? Like, there's a lot of interesting narratives, and we'll just let the audience kind of decide like who they're rooting for.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who has any Super Bowl experience on either side of the ball, and I think it's just Milton Williams with the Patriots.
With the Eagles, yeah, like reigning.
Yes, with the Eagles from last year. Yeah, I don't think anybody on the Seahawks has any Super Bowl experience. Ernest Jones, I think, was there after the fact. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm sure there's like a couple of guys. Well, Cooper Kupp for sure.
Cooper Kupp, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, easy, yeah. So both teams are really inexperienced when it comes to these moments. Obviously, the Patriots have Josh McDaniels and some coaching that has been here before, has done this before, and Mike Vrabel as a player.
Yeah, he won lots of Super Bowls as a player.
I don't think that matters because those guys aren't out on the field. It's Drake May. It's that it's that young offensive line. It's their weird core of wide receivers that are somewhat good and somewhat not good, you know? And it's same with us. It's Sam Darnold. It's a young offensive line. It's running back that is finally healthy. Like it's so unpredictable, but yet the skill level is just a little bit, maybe even more than a little bit higher than the other, in my opinion.
Man, the Patriots, like, you talk about the Seahawks being ahead of schedule. The Patriots are, like, actually literally ahead of schedule. Like, their QB is only in year 2. They have a rookie left tackle and a rookie left guard playing right next to each other. They have their 2 starting safeties are rookies. Like, this team just doesn't make sense to be in the Super Bowl. Like, it's like they stumbled into it, honestly, with Sean Payton not going for that field goal and then a blizzard coming into the game. It was just like, I just can't believe that they're here. And they ought to feel the same way. They ought to just be like not taking anything for granted and thinking that like, wow, like whatever happened, like we're here and we just have to go score more points than the other team for 60 minutes. They absolutely have a puncher's chance. It's been discussed ad nauseum, their soft schedule, soft path to the Super Bowl. The fact is they're a well-balanced team, a nice 1-2 punch at running back, and their receivers, not the receivers that carry a lot of star power, but they're good route runners. And Kayshon Boutte's been like burning teams deep down the field, and they have a defense that is unproven, like I said, but statistically they're one of the best in the league. So, like, take it or leave it. Like, what they've done, the offenses that they've had to go up against, they are statistically one of the best defenses in the league. And, yeah, they have a QB who's playing like an MVP. So,
right.
I don't know. It's dangerous to really overlook them. So I'll flip
I agree.
I'll flip it to you, Andy. As our resident ball knower and winner of our playoff upsets draft, having drafted both the Seahawks and the Patriots, what do you like from this Patriots team? What scares you the most as a Seahawks fan?
Oh, man, what scares me the most? 2 things. I think their defensive front against our O-line, because we don't have an incredible O-line, but, man, they have a really good defensive front. And honestly, TreVeyon Henderson. Yes, the Seahawks are very good about stopping the run, but TreVeyon Henderson throughout this year has shown it doesn't really matter. All it takes is him breaking away to the left, bouncing off to the right, going in the way that he really shouldn't go, and it just works out really well for him because of his speed and his ability to read the defense and gauge angles. Those 2 fronts really scare me. I'm not scared of Ramondre Stevenson, TreVeyon Henderson, and that defensive line for sure.
The Patriots offense just creates these like explosive plays, and it's not from guys with star power names. Like TreVeyon Henderson will rip off a 50-yard touchdown. It's Kayshon Boutte over here, Hunter Henry over here. Milton Williams was the first guy that came to my mind when I thought about this question. So kind of same as you, but yeah, he's going to be matched up, and he's going to be matched up against Jalen Sundell, the Seahawks center, who's below average, or it's Anthony Bradford, our right guard, who's one of the worst offensive linemen in the league. So that's just a massive mismatch, and we're talking about a guy who won the Super Bowl last year, and he was so dominant that he signed a $100 million contract with the Patriots as a free agent. That was the biggest contract in Patriots history. He injured his ankle in week 11 and didn't come back until week 18, just in time for another successful playoff run. So there's kind of a surprise element to this whole thing. Like, there's not a lot of tape. There's some, but like they've really just gotten hot like late in the year. And usually you say that about like 11-6, like 10-7 team, but they just happen to have won a bunch of these games. They weren't playing as well as they are right now. Like they're a team that has gotten hot. So yeah, I'm afraid of Milton Williams, and there's a couple other matchups that I don't know if they scare me, but we'll get into it more in a minute. But I think the next thing that I want to jump into, like digging more into the X's and O's, we talked about Milton Williams. What would you say is an X factor when the Seahawks offense has the ball outside of that? Like, what else are you watching for when the Seahawks are on offense, Patriots on defense?
AJ Barner. I love when he gets the ball. I'm excited to see how. I don't know how they guard the tight end. I know they have great corners. I know they have some young, like you said, a young secondary and safeties, but I'll be curious to see where AJ Barner, where Cooper Kupp kind of fit in those little holes in the middle of the field or on the outside edge. I'm definitely going to be watching for those things. But, man, also just seeing how Kenneth Walker eats up that defense. He's got to be able to carve up that. And in the run game, he's be able to carve up on that defensive front. We got to keep them on their toes, because if they make us one-dimensional with just Sam Darnold, that could be in for a scary couple moments there, especially in crucial times.
Totally. Yeah, the Seahawks, they love to have two tight ends on the field. AJ Barner, he's been just a massive presence. Like, whether he gets the ball or not, he's impacting the play almost all the time. So I think you're absolutely right to point him out. And then, yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but like, I want to talk about JSN versus Christian Gonzalez. That's just a huge marquee matchup. We've talked so far about guys who don't really have star power, and here it is, JSN versus Christian Gonzalez. The Patriots, like most teams, played a lot of zone in the regular season, and then in the postseason, they switched to playing a lot more man coverage, and Gonzalez, for what it's worth, he shut down the opposing team's number one receiver, and he shadowed the opposing team's number one receiver. So I don't know if that's going to be their game plan, to go one-on-one man coverage with JSN. That has been like a terrible decision for the Seahawks opponents all year long. JSN has just eaten that up. So I'd be surprised, but at the same time, it's like, who else on the Patriots secondary do you trust to cover JSN? So yeah, that's just a huge X factor, is just JSN and the Christian Gonzalez of it all. Because you look at some box scores, man, and it's like, especially against the Rams, JSN was doing everything. And there's a couple throws to Cooper Kupp here, a couple throws, dump offs to Kenneth Walker here, but like, it's about JSN. So like, are they going to dedicate numbers to really locking him down and forcing us to beat them with other players, or are they going to let Christian Gonzalez try and lock him down one-on-one? Like, that's what I'm going to be focusing on.
No, they're going to double team JSN and let other players beat us, and then their halftime's going to happen. They're going to be like, wow, okay, sure, JSN has a couple catches, but man, these guys are eating us up. Like, we got to readjust.
Torched us for a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Oh god dang it. Like, how do we handle we gotta refocus, reshift our mentality, our game plan, and then JSN is just gonna be open the entire second half, and they're not gonna have an answer. I mean, you've heard from other players during this Super Bowl media week of just how dominant the Seahawks are, how well rounded they are, how hard they are to game plan against, and why would that just suddenly go away when the biggest game possible? I'm not buying that scenario.
Yeah, man. I mean, just watching the NFC Championship, like Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua made just incredible catches, like contested catches. And the Patriots receivers are statistically good at contested catches, but they're not Puka Nacua. They're not Devontae Adams. And I think that's a good transition to the other side of the ball. Give me an X factor for when the Patriots offense has to go up against the Seattle defense. What are you watching for there?
Oh, baby. This guy, his first interview when he came to Seattle said, we're not winning a Super Bowl in Dallas, so why am I staying around there? I'm from there. I love it. I wanted to end my career there, but things aren't going to work out there, so I had to look elsewhere. That guy, I'm talking about DeMarcus Lawrence. He is my X factor. He is going to you could just see his smile while he's there on media day, just like, I am ready. This is what I have been wanting. This is why I came here. This is why I left my hometown, is to get to the Super Bowl, and now I'm finally here. Him, Leonard Williams, the veterans on that line, they are going to set the tone so quickly this game, and they are going to make sure that Drake May is uncomfortable the entire first 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence is a guy who has spent his entire career with the Dallas Cowboys. He's like the Mike Evans of defensive ends. And he like put that legacy on the line. He could have just been a guy who spent his whole career with one team and been like a Dallas legend. But instead, he leaves the team to come try and win a Super Bowl on a team that was projected to have 9 wins. Like, dude freaking called his shot, and he's being rewarded for it. And not only that, I mean, like, he's been a part of it. Like, this Seahawks defense is why the Seahawks are in the position that they're in. And of this Seahawks defense, all respect to, Witherspoon and everyone else, it's the front four that is, in my opinion, like, leading the defense, which is leading the team, which is leading the NFL. So huge shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence. I want to talk about Drake May. Okay, we've gone a long time without talking about Drake May. Uninspiring so far in this postseason, but that was, I think, weather had a lot to do with it, and we can't just assume that the Seahawks are going to shut this guy down completely. I mean, you compared him to Matthew Stafford, how they're both MVP candidates. Well, Stafford's put up like almost 30 points both times we've played him. So we cannot just assume that Drake May is going to crumble under the pressure just because he's young or just because he hasn't had good games in the divisional round or the wild card round. Like, this is a dome, right? Like, there's no weather, and he has 2 weeks to prepare, and his offense is totally healthy. And I think his play is going to really determine whether or not this game is going to be close in the fourth quarter. And the thing that I'm watching for specifically is how Mike Macdonald is going to account for Drake May's legs. Drake May in the designed run game and just scrambling when the play breaks down. Drake May, he has like 65 rushing yards in the AFC Championship game, 66 rushing yards in the wild card round. And that just really felt like the difference in both of those games when the offense couldn't move the ball otherwise. It was just like miserable unless he tucked it and ran. So is Mike Macdonald going to have Ernest Jones be like a QB spy? Or are they just going to play their zone defense and trust that when Drake May runs up, he's going to be met, sooner than later? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But Drake May's scrambling has proven to be dangerous.
Yes. I think that narrative is getting talked about a lot lately because they're struggling to find another star player or another key factor in this game that's going to allow the Patriots to win. And to me, that just gives me confidence in the Seahawks' ability to say, wow, they don't even have another star player. Like, their star player is their quarterback. They don't have another guy that is making the quarterback better or helps the quarterback. It's just all the quarterback. So if the Seahawks disrupt Drake May enough, who else are they going to lean onto? They don't have anybody else except for his bottom half. Like, nah, yes, that's a concern because the Seahawks haven't had to go against a mobile quarterback like Drake May. I agree on that front. But is it going to be the game deciding factor like it was against the Broncos? I don't think so.
All right. Well, on that note, I say we jump into predictions. Andy, how do you see this going? How do you see this going on Sunday?
Oh, baby. Okay. I'm going to pat myself on the back. The Rams game spread was close, and I said that game was going to be close. I thought It's gonna be really close, 2-3 points, and sure enough, it was dang close. This game, the spread is at 4.5, and I don't think it's gonna be a close game. The Seahawks are averaging 36 points in the postseason. The Patriots are averaging half those points. I think the final score is going to be something very similar to our average points. Seahawks 34,
Woo!
Patriots 17.
Okay, exactly twice their score. 34-17. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. And do you have an MVP? And before you give us your MVP, how do you see this going, like game script wise? Like, do we just get out in front, or is it going to be more of a second half we pull away? And who's the MVP?
I think the MVP has to go to JSN at the end of the day. It's going to be JSN or Sam Darnold, but I'm gonna lean towards JSN. I think he's going to show up. I think Cooper Kupp is going to cause some disruption. I think Shaheed's going to cause some disruption to where they're not going to be able to cover JSN, double team him the entire game. It's going to be one-on-one. He's going to show why he's the best NFL in the league. And Sam Darnold's going to have just enough time to throw to him those perfect dimes, those one-handed catches. Let's see some more of that. It's going to be mostly in the second half, because that's where the Seahawks shine. Is Mike McDonald goes into the into the locker room, adjusts his defense, and allows his offense to start cooking.
Okay. Yeah, I think if the Seahawks score 34 points, that is the kind of game that JSN would need to win MVP. And picking a receiver to win MVP is totally reasonable. We've seen it with Julian Edelman and with Cooper Kupp just in the last 5 to 10 years. I am a little bit more worried about the Patriots as a team than you are. So how I see this game going, I think it's going, especially in the first half, I think with these quarterbacks who don't have a ton of postseason experience, the coaches, Vrabel, this is his first year with the Patriots. He has lots of head coaching experience, but not a lot of postseason experience. A lot of the players are inexperienced, like we said. So I think it's going to be really tight in the first half. Teams aren't going to be making a ton of mistakes, taking a ton of risks, and I think it's going to be kind of a field position battle. Therefore, it's going to be low scoring. Second half, hopefully, like you said, the Seahawks can make some adjustments. But, I mean, I think we got to give a little bit more respect here to the New England Patriots. They got Marcus Jones, the best punt returner in the game. They've got Milton Williams, who we talked about, and just that mismatch really scares me. So I think that it's going to be a lower scoring game, but the Seahawks pull away. The Seahawks pull away because of their defense. I don't think Drake May is going to be able to get much going at all. It's going to be a lower scoring game, but the Seahawks still come out on top, and they still cover 20-13.
Oh boy, that is real low scoring.
It is.
Man,
it is.
Put some respect on the name, my guy.
I got both teams kicking 2 field goals, and the Seahawks just score one more touchdown than the opposition. And that touchdown might not even come from the offense. It might come from the defense. And, we've seen one Seahawks linebacker win Super Bowl MVP. Why not make it 2? I think Ernest Jones, he leads the Seahawks in interceptions this year. I think he gets another one, a pick 6 in the Super Bowl. In a low-scoring game like that, That'll be enough for MVP. Give it to Ernest Jones.
Wow, what a call. I love it. I absolutely love it. I almost said DeMarcus Lawrence because he had that crazy 2 pick six, or he had that crazy game against the Cardinals where he strip sacked and ran it back for a touchdown twice. Like, I almost picked DeMarcus Lawrence, but I think it's going to be offense. It's so hard to give it to a defensive player, but I love that pick. I love it.
And I love Kenneth Walker too. He was the guy that I almost picked just because this is the last game of the year. He is alone in that backfield, and there's no snap count, no nothing. Like, they're just going to be relying on him a lot. But the Patriots are so good at defending the run, and I just don't know that it's going to be him at the end of the day. But
Right.
Yeah, I like the setup for the Seahawks. Don't get me wrong. I just really want to respect the Patriots and everything that they've got going on. There are absolutely two teams in the Super Bowl who are capable of winning. So
True. Good points.
Is there anything else that you wanted to get in here before we close out?
Okay, favorite Super Bowl snack.
Super Bowl snack. Oh boy, I mean, it's not a Super Bowl party without pizza, but when I'm done with the pizza and I want something else, I kind of go dessert. Okay, is there like a brownie or like some cookies and milk or something? Like I kind of like to pivot, because the main courses are kind of a given. So yeah, I'm snacking on some peanut M&Ms or brownies if they're there. How about you?
Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody makes homemade Rice Krispie treats or anything to do with some marshmallows or something, I'm all over those. I'm putting 2 or 3 on my plate before I even start with the pizza or start with the hot dog. Yeah, those are gone before halftime, 100%.
I love that call. And look, if you've been listening to our whole show, I don't know if you want it, but I have a 4-leg parlay for the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
The last one was heartbreaking. It was a 4-leg parlay that was 1 passing yard away from 10xing your bet. But it lost, just like every parlay in the universe has lost. So anyways, for this one, Seahawks money line.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown.
Okay.
Drake May rushes for over 38.5 yards.
Okay.
And we're going back to the well. Kenneth Walker, over 2.5 receptions.
Oh, this seems pretty good. I don't know how he's been doing on catching the ball, honestly. During this postseason,
more since Charbonnet's been out. Yeah, he's eclipsed that 2.5 number pretty much every time.
Okay, well then, yeah, I think those are pretty golden.
It's a very conservative parlay. All these are projected to happen. It'll only 4x your bet. But yeah, I feel good. I feel as good as I've ever felt about a parlay.
You need to win bad with these parlays. So yeah, I don't blame you going that direction at all.
For my psyche, I need a win, but my bank account is okay. I don't actually have a problem. Yes. I don't need a win in that sense. But yeah,
no, all up here you need a win for sure.
That'd be real nice. Yeah, at the start of the year, I bet on the Rams and Broncos I bet on the Rams to win the NFC and the Broncos to win the AFC, and they both lost their conference championship games. I'm like, oh no, what are the odds? And they slipped through the cracks, and all my bets lose. I did bet on the Seahawks at the start of the playoffs to win the Super Bowl, so that was like 5-1 odds.
Hell yeah!
So. If these trends continue,
you've just been so close every parlay lately, and yeah, you need a win for up here. So I'm rooting for you. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to just quitting sports betting forever. You hear that, Caesars?
Join the club.
You hear that, Caesars? I'm gonna quit if you don't give me this one. So
too good.
All right, let's call it.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Yeah, this was a ton of fun, and hopefully we'll be having even more fun on Sunday. So,
hell yeah!
Thanks for listening, everybody. Go Hawks! Until next time.
See ya.
Thanks a ton for making it to the end of the episode. You're a real one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a free, easy way to support the show, and it really helps us out. And leave us your comments down below if you're on YouTube, or send in your questions at the Fantasy Flow Podcast at gmail.com. Until next time.